Yesterday, Chris Antonetti said that Jason Kipnis would continue his rehab down in Columbus. They are in Durham, at least for the next few days, and then they would reassess, and that possibly Jason Kipnis could join the Indians on their current road trip. They're in Kansas City, then they'll go off to Seattle. Last night, though, the Clippers scored 11 runs on 18 hits, and it was Jason Kipnis in the first inning driving the ball to the opposite field. It hits high off the wall, ends up as an RBI double. Stayed in the park, but Kipnis with an RBI double. Kipnis 3 of 17 at Columbus, does have a couple of doubles. Carlos Gonzalez, he seems ready to come back to the big leagues. Take a look at that. Just drives it to right center, outside fastball, and it leaves the park in a hurry. Gonzalez is hitting .348. He had his 4th two-hit game in 6 starts at Columbus last night. Time to go get him and put him into the Indians' outfield. The Indians have to make a move with him by the 20th. That is next Saturday. So the Indians have to decide whether they're going to bring him to the big leagues, which is likely by April 20th, which is next Saturday. Time to welcome in the play-by-play voice of the Columbus Clippers, Ryan Mitchell. Ryan, we appreciate the time. We'll get to Cargo and Kipnis in just a minute, but let's talk about the guy that's going to be on the mound Saturday, tomorrow, for the Indians. Jefry Rodriguez made a start in Columbus. What did you see from Rodriguez?
Well, he's a guy they got for Yan Gomes from the Washington Nationals. He won't be making his major league debut. He did that with the Nats last year, but certainly anytime you get back to the major leagues as a young guy, maybe you'll have some nerves. But he looked pretty good. He didn't have a great start for the Clippers, but Columbus had a lot of offense that day, one of the few days they've had a lot of offense, frankly. And so there wasn't a lot of pressure on him. He gave up 3 runs in just shy of 6 innings. He's got a good fastball. His breaking stuff looked okay, so it was his first start of the AAA season. We'll see what happens when he gets up to the major leagues. It's just going to be one start because the Indians don't really need a 5th starter until the 2nd week of May, really the first full week of May. And at that point, they might need one once or twice, and then the off days continue to come. So Cleveland can get away with a 4-man rotation for most of the first 2 months of the season.
You saw some of the numbers on Rodriguez, and control was an issue. 37 walks, 39 strikeouts. Did you see the command that you would like to see in his start? I know he only had 1. Were walks and command of trouble at his AAA start?
He didn't have a ton of walks, but you'd like to see a little bit more fine-tuning. And again, still a young guy, still learning how to pitch. He will get better at that, and I say that because the Cleveland Indians have really done a nice job, both at the major league level and throughout the system, at really helping guys who have plus arms refine that and build on not just the control, but the command, as you were talking about, putting the ball in the strike zone where they want it to be. So was it Bieber-esque? No, it certainly was not, but very few are that way. And he'll get better as it goes along for sure.
You can see big, tall, intimidating guy with that power fastball. Let's talk a little bit about Cargo and Kipnis. What have you seen? You've seen multiple games. You've seen enough to know when a guy can help at the big league level. Tell me a little bit what you've seen with these two.
Well, for Cargo, it's been a situation where his on-base percentage is nearly .500 because a lot of the time he's not getting good pitches to hit. The pitchers in the International League have been very careful with him to this point. He's drawn a lot of walks. And some of his hits have been the overshift against him, punching the ball the other way, which doesn't sound impressive, but it's a really good sign for me because it means the bat control is still there. And what you saw in the highlight package you showed at the top of the segment here is the bat speed is still pretty good as he was able to drive a ball out of Durham Bulls Athletic Park down in Durham, North Carolina. So he's looked very good in the outfield. The arm is still there. He reads fly balls well, and I think I said this last time aboard. The right field at Huntington Park is not an easy one to play because of the tall wall and all the crazy angles over there. So he's looked very good in that regard. He has carried himself with a lot of confidence, so he knows he can play. I think the numbers show that he has looked pretty good, and for a team in Cleveland hitting under 200 as a unit, I think he can probably help.
What about Kipnis? I know he's been banged up. Does he look like a guy that hadn't played in several weeks, which is what he has?
I wouldn't say that. The numbers aren't as impressive for Kip, but they don't have to be. When you're on a major league rehab assignment in the minors, nobody cares about your numbers. Nobody cares if you're batting 400 or 100. All they care about is how does your body feel. Is your bat speed there? Does everything work the way that it's supposed to? They're not assigning any value to the stats. The thing that stood out most for me for Kipnis is the fact that he was able to make a couple of diving plays in the infield, get that uniform dirty. Of course, that's something he's known for as the lovable dirtbag, as he's been called around Cleveland for many, many years. And so the fact that he's able to do those things and move free and easy, again, with the numbers, he hit one off the Blue Monster yesterday. That's a great sign for Kipnis being able to go the other way. The Indians need him to be a better version than they saw last year. Once they get Lindor and Kipnis back, if Gonzalez gets into the lineup and starts hitting, that pitching for the Indians is really going to play up. I think they're both just about ready to go. I think it's just a matter of maybe getting some more reps and getting the timing down for Kipnis before he's ready to rejoin Cleveland.